Richard Jones from Tennis Gallery Wimbledon. It's Friday the 9th of June 2017 and we're here at Surbiton Racket and Fitness Club where the Aegon Surbiton Trophy Tournament is taking place. I'm glad to say today we've got Roy Staniland with us, who's director of the club. And Roy, can you just tell us a little bit first of all to get things started about how long you've been at the club and what your role is, please?
Absolutely, I've been working here now for approximately 30 years. Started off when we used to have the junior internationals and the pre-Wimbledon events, and then have carried on since, and we've been obviously very lucky enough to get the ATP and the ITF and WTA to help us out with some other events.
Oh, great. And talking about the club generally, it used to be what I used to think of as Surbiton Lawn Tennis Club many years ago, and it has a new name now, which is Surbiton Racket and Fitness Club. Can you just tell us about what the main activities of the club are, please?
Absolutely. The club started in 1881 as a lawn tennis club. We introduced squash in the 30s, and in the late 80s we got a gym. So tennis, squash and gym. Membership of over 1,550 members now, and all ages and all abilities are welcome, playing on 3 different surfaces on tennis and obviously squash and the gym.
And it's a kind of modern miracle to me that you've managed to retain such superb grass courts when obviously in the modern world grass courts are fewer and further between.
Absolutely, I think it's obviously our unique selling point from the perspective of having lawn tennis here, but we've had a lot of help from the All England Club and the Lawn Tennis Association, and we've had some excellent ground staff that work on the courts all year round. So there's a lot of work that goes into it, a lot of finance that we invest into the grass, but it's our unique selling point, so it's important, and as a club that's been here since 1881, I think it's really important that we carry on that tradition.
Great. And how many grass courts are there, Roy?
There's 11 grass courts, 6 tarmac courts, 3 clay courts, and we're lucky enough to have a dome over 2 of the hard courts in the winter.
Brilliant. And the grass court season runs from, I guess, from May to September, does it?
Mid-May to mid-September, depending on the weather, and obviously at the moment it's not looking very nice out there, but generally all the way through to mid-September is the time that we get on.
Excellent. I'd like to talk now about the tournament, the Aegon Surbiton Trophy, as it's now called. Surbiton has traditionally been the British curtain raiser for the grass court season, going back more than a century. Can you just tell us about the brief history of the tournament and leading up to how it is now, please?
Absolutely. I think the tournament started in 1890, so we've got quite a lot of tradition, and going through the years we've got a fantastic honours board full of different names, and players that have played here in the past include Helen Wills Moody, Chrissy Evert, Billie Jean, Martina Navratilova, Judy Teagard, to name a few. The tournament finished in the 90s as a male event, and then we had a 1 year only in 1981 of a female event. There was then a gap until 1997, and we ran the event all the way through to 2008. And then again we had a small gap, and then the All England decided to introduce an extra week between the French Open and Wimbledon, and we started in 2015, and this is our 3rd year back on the circuit.
Fantastic. And I mean, I noticed, because I've been coming here for a long time, as you know, Roy, I've noticed a wonderful improvement in the facilities for spectators, particularly this year. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, absolutely. I think every year we learn, and we try and improve and invest back into the facility to make that both the player and the spectator experience a much better one. So we've got more walkways between courts so that the spectators can get closer to the players. And stands, we've improved the stands, again listening to the public over the last couple of years, and learning from it, and I think now we're getting there to quite a nice facility for the public to enjoy their tennis.
And you've got a very high quality entry this year, both men's and women's.
Absolutely. It's I mean, we've had I think 9 top 100 men and about 8 or 9 top 100 ladies. Last year we had about 2 I think top 100 men. So from that perspective the players must be enjoying coming here, hopefully when the weather's a little bit better, but they must be enjoying playing on the courts, and their player experience must be good, and obviously all our members participate and get involved and support and steward and make their experience as good as we possibly can.
Thanks, Roy. Well, as we draw towards the end, is there a favourite reminiscence of the tournament that you have?
There is, and it was one of probably my couple of years in 1999. and there was a lady called Sian Masterton who was working for Advantage at the time with Cliff Bloxham, and she said to me, come and watch this Swiss chap playing on court 2, and he was playing a guy called Potsy, who was probably one of the oldest players I think on the circuit at the time, and it was a chap called Roger Federer. So it was a fascinating game to watch. It was the year his father sort of pulled him aside and told him to change, or things were going to change. So he was a little bit rebellious, throwing his racket and being quite obviously different to what he is today. But it was a fantastic match, and I sat through the entire match, and Federer finally lost the final set tiebreak. So who knows, if he'd beaten him, Potsy, who won, went on to win, so we could have had Federer on our honours board, but it was a super match, and it's one that I don't think I'll ever forget.
And he wrote a nice message to you recently for your programme.
Absolutely. When the tournament came back in 2015, we managed to speak to him, and he agreed. He wrote a lovely little a couple of lines to say how much he enjoyed playing here, and to wish us well. So it was great that we carried on that relationship.
That's wonderful. Thank you very much, Roy. I do encourage everybody to come down to Surbiton. The tournament will be running again in the sort of early days of June 2018. It's a wonderful place to come for the first grass court action of the season, and very close to Surbiton Station, not far from central London, and you can just walk up and pay on the gate and you have a wonderful day here. So I do recommend the Aegon Surbiton Trophy. Cheerio everyone.